Right, 29 January 2024, and today I'm gonna be giving you another update on the events that are taking place in the CCC and in other news that are taking place in Zimbabwe. And yesterday was very eventful. We had the first video from Nelson Chamisa, and I'm still analyzing that video to see if everything is okay there. So I'll give you an analysis of the video that Chamisa did with a Nigerian TV station, and I'll let you know if I'm happy, if Chamisa is freely operating. But so far, I am not yet convinced that Chamisa is in a place where he can make his speeches or statements freely. And what we're going to do is, later on today, I'm going to try to give Chamisa a call, and I will see if he is going to be able to talk to us and give us an indication of what is happening. I'm also going to start calling now the guys who are around Chamisa, because I wanted to give them space to think and reflect, and also to come up with an understanding of what is going on. So I'm going to give Chamisa a call, and I'm going to start calling people now and getting their views. The current situation is like this. Everyone has been simply sitting back to watch what the other side is going to do. So the Chabangu side has been sitting and trying to see what is going to happen, who is going to swear allegiance to Chamisa, and who's going to say they're coming out of parliament. But I know for a fact that they already have a list. They have a list right now of the people that they want to replace. They have a list of people that they want to be PR MPs. So on the Chabangu side, they're just waiting to see who is going to speak out. And what has happened is that people like MPs that we expected to step down in solidarity with Chamisa, like Twangirai, the Marondera MP, these guys have said they are not going to step down. So when I'm talking of Marondera MP here, let's see what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Caston Mateo. Caston Mateo was supported greatly by Nelson Chamisa to get to that position. He's considered to be one of the best, youngest MPs. He said he's not going to step down. Richard Twangirai has said that his constituency has told him not to step down, and multiple others. We've also heard a statement, and this is a full statement from Advocate Eric Matinenga. Advocate Eric Matinenga has said he is not going to support the decision by Nelson Chamisa to step down. What he says is that that decision was rushed. So Nelson Chamisa rushed to make that decision to step down. And we basically have a situation where when Chamisa was speaking, you can see that he has not yet made a decision on what organization is going to form. So as it stands right now, Chamisa has not made a decision of what organization is going to form. He's speaking about a broad-based citizen movement, but he has not yet made that decision. And I think this is where people are questioning the decision to step down before creating that alternative structure. So what I expect is that this week we're going to see Biti coming out to make a statement and taking leadership, and we're going to see Nelson Chamisa coming in to speak and also creating some form of structure. If Nelson Chamisa fails to create an organization now, and this is it, this is lights out for Nelson Chamisa. This is the last moment for Nelson Chamisa to make a decision to create an organization. If he does not make that decision, if he does not create that organization, you can forget about Nelson Chamisa, and the CCC guys, the MPs, the senators, and the councillors. They're going to be forced to follow whoever is going to take charge of the CCC. There is no question about it, and there's no doubt about it. There is always going to be an opposition in Zimbabwe, and people are not going to let the CCC die. That is one thing that I can assure you. There is going to be a CCC that is standing, and that CCC is going to be led by somebody, probably somebody that is appointed on an interim basis by Sengizo Chabangu. So Sengizo Chabangu, as it stands right now, on court papers, he is going to be in charge of the CCC, he's going to be in charge of the process going forward. And if you look at what Nelson Chamisa said yesterday, he's not blaming BT, he's not blaming Ngube, he's not blaming anybody else. The only people that he's blaming is ZANU-PF. So there is also a possibility that there is a negotiation going on behind the scenes, but I don't see that Nelson Chamisa could come back to the CCC and take up his old position. That would be very, very embarrassing. It would be almost like a loss of face, and I don't see Chamisa coming back to the CCC. However, I don't see the CCC crashing or falling. The CCC is going to remain, it's going to become very, very strong, and it's going to go into the next election. No matter who is there, it's going to go into the next election. Then that brings us to the issue of dialogue. Dialogue is still going to come up, it's still going to happen, no matter who is in charge there. If it's BT, it is going to take the position and he's going to go into dialogue. If there's going to be power sharing, it's probably going to happen with the new guys, with the guys under BT. Do not underestimate what is going to happen now. The challenges that are in Zimbabwe are very, very big. Things are collapsing in Zimbabwe as we speak, and a solution is going to be found, and that solution is going to include the CCC and whoever is in charge, because these guys are in parliament. The complication we have this time is that everyone is in parliament, and the people are not going to leave CCC, people are not going to leave parliament. These are the facts on the ground as it stands right now. So Chamisa, the pressure is currently on Chamisa as we speak. So the pressure to come out and speak, the pressure to create something, the pressure to organize, and the pressure to take his huge base, his popular base, in a certain direction. Because you cannot just say, I've quit. And I've been saying this since the day one. Chamisa is now in a position where he is going to go through his biggest test ever. Ever since Chamisa started politics, this is going to be the biggest test for Nelson Chamisa. And he is going to see what the people's interests are, especially the people that are in parliament. Chamisa is going to understand what or who is on his side and who is not, because there is a big cost of quitting parliament. There's a big cost of quitting Senate, and there's a big cost of quitting the councils. People are not going to easily leave these positions, and Chamisa has got nothing to offer them in terms of cash. People are going to be saying, BT has got the 2 million. Chamisa doesn't have the 2 million. What is going to happen? And our politics is organized around the money. And the money is currently with Chabangu. The money is currently with the BT and the Ngube. Those are the people who've got the money. So now let's look at other things here. Job Sikhala. Let's talk about the issue of Job Sikhala. Very, very important. If BT fails to take up this position, because this needs bravery on the part of BT. If he fails to come out and declare himself the leader and take leadership, then Job Sikhala is the next person that people will be looking to. And I believe that Job Sikhala's case, he's got 2 cases. One is going to be heard today, and there's another one, I think, on the 15th of February. I just need to confirm that. So we are likely going to see Job Sikhala coming out sometime within the next 2 weeks, because Job Sikhala has served his sentence. Basically, he was convicted, but I think he served his sentence, so they will let him out as soon as the ruling is out. They'll probably sentence him to 2 years or whatever he served, and then he's going to walk out. When he walks out, Job Sikhala is a popular leader among the CCC leaders, and I don't think Job Sikhala is going to leave the CCC. That's not possible. There's no reason for him to leave the CCC, except if Chamisa creates another political party and appoints people. Because the problem is, Chamisa is saying he's creating something that does not have a structure again. He's going to create a citizen movement. He's not going to have positions, say vice president and so forth. So the CCC is going to be very, very attractive to the leaders who want to have positions, who want to be vice president, secretary general, who want to have access to party funds. So the CCC is still going to be the center of everything. And Job Sikhala coming out within the next 2 weeks is going to be another area of complication. People who want to support Job Sikhala. And if people go to Congress, because Congress is coming for the CCC, it means there will be contest. It could be an interim leader, but if there's Job Sikhala could end up taking over that position. So let's see what happens. There is an eventful 4 weeks coming ahead of us in Zimbabwean politics, opposition politics, which, as I said to you and I explained to you yesterday, Zimbabwean politics is our student politics. The student politics of ZINASU, of the UZ SRC, of the NAST SRC, those are the people who are in politics at the moment. And the politics that we're seeing needs to change from that politics that we had in the past to a mature politics that does not rely on one individual. And we are entering that period now where leadership will easily change. So if it comes from Chamisa, it goes to Biti, and from Biti it goes to Sikhala, and it won't matter, because that is where we need to go. The organization needs to be stronger than the individuals. It's like ZANU-PF. You know very well right now that Mnangagwa is in Italy, but ZANU-PF is functioning. I think Mohadi is currently the acting president. Last month, the acting president was General Chiwenga. These things happen in ZANU-PF on a daily basis. If Mnangagwa is hit by a bus in Italy, let's say he looks the wrong way, and boom, what happens is Mohadi is just going to be acting president and will continue. If Chiwenga is not there, Mohadi is there. There is a whole bunch of people down the road. However, in CCC, what was happening is that everything was centralized around Chamisa, and any decision that Chamisa made, and wherever Chamisa went, that is where the party was. And we're entering a period now where we need to have different people who can take office, who can take charge. We don't want this thing where people say, if Chamisa is not there, the party must die. And I want to look here at our comment. So look here. Chabangu is not CCC according to the court ruling, so it should not be in the equation. So I don't want you guys to misinterpret what has happened. Chamisa went to court and they interdicted Chabangu from acting on behalf of the CCC. So that was a provisional order. There is a main case which Chamisa has put in with his guys to say Chabangu has got no authority to act on behalf of the CCC. But because Chamisa has quit the CCC, that case falls away. That is what I want you guys to understand. When you have an action, it has an impact. So before these guys act, they must understand what is the impact of their actions. Their court case has fallen away because Chamisa has quit. He is no longer the leader of the CCC, and he has renounced the CCC. So Chabangu is now officially going to be in charge of the CCC. He can easily challenge that interdict now when the court case is heard, and the money is going to easily go to Chabangu. And not only Chabangu, remember there is a leadership structure which is there, which was there, which Ngube is saying was there. So that leadership structure is now going to be in charge of that 2 million. I don't know the number which we are saying here, 2 million. I don't know if it's exactly 2 million, but I know that the parties are sharing 5 million from parliament. So $5 million US dollars. That money is very, very significant in terms of setting up offices, setting up structures, marketing, and managing to push an agenda. So if you've got 2 million under your control, you are suddenly able to do a lot of things. And the people for the 2 million, most of that is going to fall into the pocket of the president. Under Tsvangirai, I think it was 50% of the money that came from parliament was going to go to Tsvangirai. I'm not sure about the actual percentage, but I think 50% of that money that came from parliament would go to Morgan Tsvangirai directly, which means about 1 million will probably go to Biti, Ngube, and whoever is around them. They'll share that $1 million US dollars personally as the president of the party. This is how it works, and this is what Chamisa has lost. Chamisa has also explained, if you look at his explanation on Twitter, that he actually lost money in CCC. He didn't make any money. He has never received any money from the government. And for the first time, the CCC is going to receive this money. And this is crazy. Now, let's look at more comments here. I want to go into comments, then I'll go into more analysis. Gambago Job and a criminal record. So, Constitution of Zimbabwe cannot allow someone on a criminal record have a ballot box, a ballot as a president. I don't think that is what I'm saying. what I'm saying is that you can be president of CCC, and at the same time, you don't have to be the president of Zimbabwe. You can be leader of the opposition. You can be in parliament. There are many people with criminal records in Zimbabwe in parliament. Mnangagwa was on death row during the Rhodesian government. The criminal records charges that Job Sikhala is facing, they are criminal charges from politics. It's nothing to do with anything else. So I don't know if that is valid to say he didn't steal a car or break into someone's car. So I don't know how that works. I'm sure I will leave that to the lawyers to interpret. But what I'm saying is, right now as we speak, Nelson Chamisa has disqualified himself from politics in Zimbabwe. He can no longer take office as a president according to the CCC. So either he becomes an independent or he's totally out. He's just like Pastor Ivan. Pastor Ivan is sitting in America, and he's sitting in America there. He can't be the president of Zimbabwe. If you want to be the president of Zimbabwe, you need to be having a political party. You need to be having a political structure. You need to have an agenda, a political agenda. You can't just say, we're going to be looking at corruption, or we're going to be looking at things to be done properly. That's not politics. You are a player, not a supporter. So what Chamisa has done and what is described now is he's going to be someone who is standing on the sidelines, speaking out about the bad things that are happening in Zimbabwe, which is not political. And I do not know how Chamisa is going to convert that non-political activity to politics. Because what he could do is say, I am the independent, the candidate for all the independents. Someone has called me and said that is the possibility that is going to happen. That Chamisa will say, all the independents in the country, I'm going to be the president of the independents, and put candidates all over the country. So each place, whichever independent candidate will be supported under, let's say, a rainbow coalition, or a blue coalition, or a dust coalition, then he becomes the president of all those candidates. Then each candidate becomes a representative, and eventually Chamisa will become president. Then he avoids infiltration, because you can't infiltrate an independent. So my understanding is that right now Chamisa is not figured out that. He's still figuring out what he needs to do, and this week we're going to get a clearer picture of what is going to happen next, because everything else that Chamisa was doing has stopped. Everything has stopped. The next phase that we're entering is the phase of Tendai Biti. And then let's look at other comments here. What comment? I'm not seeing some comments here. I think MS, I want to avoid your comments right now, because the thing is, remember, CCC is MDC. Whoever is in CCC is from MDC, and people are not going to allow CCC to die. So let's agree that whoever thinks because Chamisa is left, CCC is going to die, that won't happen. And that, I can assure you, you will not see the CCC dying. If anyone decides to leave the CCC right now, it's them who's going to be out there by themselves. But the CCC itself is going to survive. It's going to do very, very well. Now, let's look at other stories. Let's see. I'm not talking long, right? 80 minutes. I need to be out of here below 20 minutes normally. Let's look at Kasukuwere. Right, Kasukuwere and his family, they're living in a very strange setup. So Kasukuwere is living in South Africa, but his son is actually living in Zimbabwe. That's crazy. So if you look in the newspaper today, I think that is the Herald or the Newsday newspaper. I'm so sorry, I don't know which newspaper it is. But Kasukuwere's son is in court right now as you speak. He is in court because someone duped him of over 55,000 US dollars. And so he's in Zimbabwe. He's there. I don't know how that works. It means it's a Kasukuwere family is in Zimbabwe, but their father is out there in exile. You can go and look at the story. And I think the young man is called Christian, if I'm not mistaken. He's over there in Zimbabwe, where he was trying to do a deal. And some people stole some money for him. and he's in court. So Kasukuwere, I don't know how his family can be in Zimbabwe and manage to operate there under the current circumstances. So I hope that we're not watching a drama here between Kasukuwere and Mnangagwa. That would be crazy, because I don't understand how that works. That Kasukuwere is challenging Mnangagwa, is not allowed to contest. He says Mnangagwa wants to get him out, but his son is in Harare, he's appearing in the courts as a complainant. So I don't know how that works. Go and have a look at that story, and we'll see how that turns out. Then in terms of Parents Shiri's estate is being shared, and one of the daughters, Rufaro Shiri, has taken Stefania Muswamiri to court for forgery because she is an illegitimate daughter of Shiri. But Rufaro Shiri has lost because the court says she did not forge those documents. There was a DNA test, and she's Shiri's son, his daughter. So there's a split of that money that is happening. Then Mnangagwa is in Italy for the Italy Afro Summit. So let's see if he speaks. If he speaks, I'm going to share the video with you. Marvelous Nakamba is injured at Luton, and is going to be out for the remainder of the season. He's not going to be able to play because of injuries. But then let's look at pictures. There is a young lady, a cricket player. So let's remove that banner. The youngest cricket player in Zimbabwe, a female from Petra High School. She's called Christina Mutasa. She has become the youngest woman in Zimbabwean cricket, and she played against Ireland yesterday. Then let's look at the death notice from EcoBank. Marceline Cynthia Maraza. They've put a full advert in the newspaper. One of their risk people died, and you can have a look at that. I think it's in most of the newspapers. And then Kuziva Sakupkanya, I think that is Scott's family. Someone died there. They've put an advert in the newspaper, and they're thanking ED for the support on this. So that's Kuziva Sakupkanya, the Sakupkanya family. I think the family of Scott, they've lost someone there. You can see the picture. So that is what we have in terms of news. And then Chitungwiza City Council is verifying all the offer letters. So all the stands, if you've got a residential stand in Chitungwiza, the City Council is verifying all the stands. So if you've got a residential stand there, you must take your offer letter to the council so that they can verify it. So that is basically the news that I have today. And we are going to be looking at what Biti does next. If Biti misses this opportunity to take leadership, then he's forgotten. Politics, he'll be out of politics for good. And I don't think they will allow it. I don't think Ngube will allow this. I don't think Mafume and Chabangu will allow this situation where they have the opportunity to take leadership to just go. So you must understand that we are at the point where we are going to have new leadership in the CCC, and the CCC is going to do very, very well. The CCC is not going to die. So do not expect the CCC to die, and we're not going to support that. I'm not going to support that. And as I said, we're not going to black out BT. We're not going to black out Chamisa. All these guys are going to get coverage the same way that we've been giving coverage to everybody. Right, I think my way is explaining why Sikhala cannot be on the ballot as a president. So no matter what he does, even if he becomes a leader, he cannot be leader of Zimbabwe. So I agree. Remember, parliament separate from party politics, separate from the Zimbabwe government. So BT is currently right now the person that is firmly in charge in the CCC with Ngube, supported by the old structures. And as I said, Kasukuwere, she has spoken a lot, but she has not said she's going to quit parliament. She's trying to have it both ways, and that's not cool. Kasukuwere, she must come out. If she wants to quit, she must quit. If she wants to be with Chabangu, she must be with Chabangu. If she wants to be with Chamisa, she must be with Chamisa. And Chamisa has said he does not force people. You heard me yesterday. He won't force anyone to stay. So we want to see clarity this week. There's going to be clarity today or tomorrow. There's going to be clarity on who is who within the CCC. Then Juliet is saying Kambakotso's plan to get Chamisa out of the way to enable some people to come close and form a GNU. People can see through this. There's no way the masses will be impressed with this nonsense. But I say to you, we honestly can't say there's no one else who can lead in Zimbabwe. And guys, I disagree very, very heavily with this possibility that in the whole of Zimbabwe, we have only one person that can be a leader. So if Chamisa says he's quit, let him quit and go. If Mahere says she's quit, let her quit and go. What we're saying is they can't just quit and do nothing. So if Mahere quits, we want to see a direction. If Chamisa quits, we want to see a direction. You can't just hog people and supporters and say, I'm holding these supporters and putting them in a warehouse. No one else can use them. That is what I'm saying. We cannot do that. So the CCC cannot die just because the guys have left. We need a strong CCC. And whatever structure they're going to form, we want it to also be strong. So let's make it work. Let's make this structure work. Right now, Mkwananzi doesn't know what is happening. He's not tweeting anything. He's the spokesperson of the CCC. Is he going with the new structure or not? Ostalos is quiet. He doesn't know what's going on. What is going on? So we don't want this nothing. I'll call this the nothing from now on. We want the something. And we're going to phone Chamisa today. I'm going to phone him and ask him what's happening. And he can give interviews to Nigerian TVs and South African TVs. But at the end of the day, Chamisa will have to sit in Zimbabwe and give a speech and tell us what's going on, what's next, and if he's taking other people with him, and what those people should expect, what the Zimbabweans should expect, what's the roadmap. We need the roadmap. We know for a fact that the CCC is there. It's got MPs, it's got councillors, it's got senators, and we expect people to take leadership there. We expect a leader to be appointed there on an interim basis, a roadmap to the Congress, and then a setting up of the structures. That is at the ward level, at regional level, at provincial level, and then the national executive. And then we need the international structures to come back. That is what people want. You don't believe I have Chamisa's phone number? Let me give you Chamisa's phone number right now. Mkoma MS, tupa iri number ya Chamisa. Irabe. My honor. Right, I gave you Chamisa's number. You can phone him if you want. Mkoma MS, I'm joking. I'm not going to give you Chamisa's number on live. I've got everyone's number. If you want me to phone ED now, I can phone him in Italy. He's going to pick. So I think this is it. The numbers that I have and don't have, they've got no bearing on things happening in Zimbabwe right now. What I've realized is the guys around Chamisa, they need to do better. They need to communicate better. I don't have to beg for information, and they're going to realize soon how important it is to communicate better. They will realize how important and how strong the CCC is. The CCC was supported by people because of its history. It was not supported because of a person, and we want this to work. We also want Chamisa to make sure that he forms something that people can be proud of. We don't want this thing of coming from this thing and going to this thing and going to this thing. And I think you understand as time goes on how the strength of the people lies in an organization which is formally structured, which is very, very strong, which is the opportunity that people have now. So I want to wrap this up, and what I'm going to do is I've got a call from a guy from the Chamisa story, the interview that he did. There's a company called Newsbar. What is this company called? It's a Nigerian company, right? So we took a portion of their story and we put it on our YouTube. Unfortunately, we have to remove the story. And what we'll do is, if you want to look at that story, you have to look for CCC and Google that story, because we can't use a story that we didn't film. So go there and look. There's a whole interview of 10 minutes which Chamisa did, and ourselves, we cannot use the story because it's not our story. So I'm going to remove our YouTube There's a little 45 seconds clip that will put there, and you'll be able to see the story from the original guys. So this is it. This is how it stands right now. A moment of truth for Zimbabwean politics. And Mkoma, first they will say, "Why are you?" By the way, I think he's talking to other people there. And we'll see. We'll see. The week is progressing. Let's see what's happening. And a good day to everybody. Enjoy the week, and the by-elections is this weekend. We'll see how it goes now that there's no Chamisa. Is ZANU-PF suddenly going to sweep the whole votes that where CCC is contesting? Very, very interesting. We'll see what happens this weekend. We are getting into that position where we see who is who in politics. Thank you very much, everyone, and a good day